welcome to the city council meeting for November 13th. Please call roll, Ms. Clerk.
Councilor Arnold. Present. Councilor Hildebrand.
Present.
Councilor Marujo.
Here.
Councilor Johnson.
Here.
Councilor Cavan.
Here.
Councilor Oropesa.
Here.
Councilor Cortez.
Present.
Councilor Horn.
Present.
Councilor Moore.
Present.
And Councilor Halverson.
Present.
We have a quorum.
So we can stand. Councilor Johnson's going to say the pledge, and Councilor Moore's going to say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this day. Thank you for allowing each and every one of us to be here this evening. Father God, watch over us as we make decisions, God. May the decisions we made be unto you and unto the people of this city. Lord, we just thank you for our policemen and our firemen. Keep them safe from all hurt, harm, and danger in our city, local, and state. Father God, continue to bless our government and the decisions that are made. Touch our minds, our hearts, and our understanding that we might agree this evening. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Thank you. I've had several little birdies remind me. Yesterday was Chad Cole's birthday, and today's Amali, my Jesus' birthday.
All right.
We'll sing happy birthday.
Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Yeah.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I move to approve the agenda for November 13, 2025 regular city council meeting with the following changes. Move item number 27, which is ordinance 25XX, an ordinance for the sale of real property, to the consent agenda to be placed after item 14.
Second.
No, I'm not finished.
Oh, excuse me. Holy moly.
Don't call yet. Item 27 should reflect that it was assigned ordinance number 25-07. Page 103 in your packet, which is the minutes. Page 103, line 19, under the vote. It showed Hildebrand with a yes, that should have read a no. And on page 107, line 27, where it says counselor, that should have said Counselor Horn. And on page 108, line 43, remove the first made a motion.
Second.
I have a motion from Councilor Hildebrand and a second by Councilor Cavan. Do we need a roll call or do we voice vote?
A roll call. Councilor Arnold.
Yes.
Councilor Hildebrand.
Aye.
Councilor Marujo.
Yes.
Councilor Johnson.
Yes.
Councilor Cavan.
Yes.
Councilor Oropesa.
Yes.
Councilor Cortez.
Aye.
Councilor Horn.
Yes.
Councilor Moore. Councilor Halverson.
Yes.
Did you get it?
I'm sorry, but I see Daryl Johnson, you have phone.
He was there. It says your phone was there.
I want to say that belongs up to what
Cavan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that?
So you did that adjustment.
Can you make that adjustment without?
Yes, sir, I can. What page number is that, Councilor?
That's going to be page 108. Roll call vote, Daryl Johnson via phone. It should be Will Cavan via phone.
You know, I need a motion to item 15, airport updates, Ms. Bobby Thompson.
Well, good evening, council members. So tonight I have a number of things to report to you. We've been very active at the airport. I'll start with the United Airlines update. We've had multiple conversations with these folks already. Of course, the contracts were signed. They'll have their first visit with us on Monday and Tuesday of next week. They'll be bringing in some of their station people to look over space requirements, equipment requirements, and give a general understanding of our terminal and how it operates. We'll also be working with them. They'll be setting up training and hiring, which they will do. They will start the training in December. It will go on for 2 months, with the first service day being February the 17th, and they are already selling tickets. So we're glad they're going to do a lot of local hiring. We're very pleased about that. And of course, they'll be bringing a lot of good economy in and creating some competition. The next item I'd like to discuss, and please feel free to ask any questions as I go along, because I do have a number of items this evening. Next item is Building 91. Building 91 was an old fighter hangar on the airport. We looked at that building in 2024, fiscal 2024. The airport spent a little over $180,000 in maintenance on a building that was supposed to be maintained by the tenants. Now, in that same time, the revenue was $60,000. As we explored and looked at that building, we determined that it made no sense for the airport to continue doing that. We talked to the tenants. The tenants decided that they would like to purchase that building. So we had an appraisal done by an appraiser that only does airport projects. The appraisal came back at $250,000. So they're still interested in the purchase of that building. I've talked to the FAA, and because there would be a land lease involved that would still benefit the airport, we're not giving them any airport land, which because we're federally obligated, of course, that's a critical step. What will happen with that is there will be a land lease. We can do a 20-year land lease on that with a couple 5-year options. We've been working on the language with District Cliff Wade. We met with them again yesterday, and we think we've got that fine-tuned so the group can make the final decision on that. Restaurants.
Two questions.
Yes, sir.
What was the $180,000 specifically spent on?
All kinds of maintenance items. There's a long list of maintenance items on the building, from roofs and walls and paint, high-vac systems, just a number of things. Now, there was flood damage, as you know, to that building. Part of what we will do is we will still be taking care of the flood damage to the building. We feel that is our responsibility to do that for the tenants. That should not be theirs even in a purchase situation.
Was part of that money that you spent for electrical?
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember specifically.
Well, I recall hearing a story that the city decided to pull some equipment off the roof of the building, and they did so, but forgot to check and make sure all the electrical was turned off to that unit, and they shorted out a bunch of electricity that went down into the building. But I'll let you do the due diligence on that.
Yeah, I'd be happy to research that, because like I say, the work was done a couple of years ago, so I'll dig into that and bring it back to you.
Before your time, I understand that.
So the restaurant, we've had a great deal of difficulties with the restaurant. When they're there, they do very well. They serve a good product, they take care of things, and I'm not sure what the dates were, but the city actually purchased all the equipment in the restaurant, so the city does own all that restaurant equipment. We recently had to replace the refrigerator there because some damage was done to that by a person that was in there employed for a very short period of time. But the problem is, they are totally dependent on air travel traffic, which is ridiculous for an airport the size of ours. When the people come and go, and with just right now, just the 2 American flights a day, those people are at 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, guess what? They're not open at 6 o'clock in the morning. So they're only open for a single flight right now. And those people are wanting to get on their plane, or they're getting off their aircraft and leaving. One of the American flights comes in after 10 at night and they're not open. They do nothing to market the facility. They don't reach out to the over 300 people that work at various places on the airport. And if they've got an activity going on at the college, which they also serve the food at the college, they just close the restaurant. So we're constantly getting complaints about the fact that you can never depend on them to be open. And some of those complaints, quite honestly, aren't very friendly. So I would like to look at options on the restaurant, and I've been talking to other restaurant owners and see what we can do, even to the point where we may come back to you to talk about the airport taking over the running of that, since the airport city already owns the equipment anyway, to keep it open longer hours. The bar, which is their biggest money maker, is rarely open. Sometimes it goes for 2 weeks without being open. So we definitely need to do something. They don't seem to be interested. As a revenue source, the only revenue they pay is a grant that's about to run out. In fact, it runs out in January. That pays the airport $500 a month, and that's the only revenue that the airport gets from that operation. So we're very disappointed that it's not working. We think it can work, but it's got to be marketed to a lot more people than folks getting off an airline.
So are they not paying a rent, or is that $500?
The agreement that was signed at that time was a revenue share if the revenue reached a certain amount, or for this grant that they had, which they're not actually paying, it's paid through a grant, not even their money. That's the only money that comes to the airport, because they never hit the revenue numbers, because they're open.
But Walker Museum's paying, right?
Yeah. It's kind of a cycle.
It's
So-
5 times what we used to get though.
Good point. Well, let's make it 20 times.
And we spent 400,000, that's a hell of a return.
Oh, yeah. That's some math that Tony would have to explain to me for sure. Yes,
So if I'm understanding, it's Summit Foods that runs that,
correct,
and they also run the cafeteria at the university, and
correct.
we've had nothing but problems there at the university as well. Opening up only during lunch, and that's it. So I agree, we probably do need to look at another source.
I think it could become a revenue source, plus just from a public relations standpoint, it'd be nice not to have people yelling at us weekly because the restaurant's not open.
Correct.
Well, is that one of the city's liquor licenses?
Yes.
Okay. So we kind of do what we want to do.
Then the other thing that's been very busy, as you all remember, going back again a while back, you had the fine from the TSA, which now the funds have been paid. There was one item left that had to be accomplished in that settlement. That item is currently being worked on. Thankfully, Jeff and the team over at IT are working very hard on that. The completion date on that is November the 19th, and IT is telling us that it'll be complete at that time or slightly before, and it has to do with improved access controls to all gates and all doors to all buildings. So it's no small project, and IT's been working very hard, and we do appreciate that. FEMA. As they say, Elvis has left the building. We did a walkthrough on the 10th of November, which was FEMA's last day in building 611, which was the old Department of Health building. So they left. Unfortunately, they didn't leave any bags of money behind, but at least they did pay their rent. So then I would like to go on to the building 1081. Now, building 1081 was the office building for the former bus plant that was on the airport. And it had been empty for a considerable amount of time. It's actually a very nice building. It's a very large building, over 60,000 square feet. So with all the things that you're aware of with the museum not having a facility right now in town, not having a building in town, we're getting that building ready for them. You had previously voted to provide them rent to stay where they are through the month of December. So it was important not only to get the building ready for them, to get the building back in order so it can be rented out to others as well, so that we can turn an empty building into a revenue source. So some of the things that have already been done, we completed plumbing in the whole section for them. We worked on the HVAC system and got that completed. There's been a complete cleaning of all the ducts. We have a quote, they haven't started yet, but the whole fire suppression system is being reworked and relooked at. Shopps County Doors is scheduled to work on all the doors and windows to make sure they're all secure. We're rekeying all the section that the museum would occupy. They will only be on about a third of the building downstairs, not in the upstairs section. We're working and replacing all the lights and all the ceiling tiles. And then once all that work is completed, we'll do another cleaning of the entire facility. And as I mentioned, it's good to get that building back in good order to create a revenue source. And with all the things that are proposed and all the things being done, it's slightly over $86,000. But we do think it's going to be a great place for the museum to get back on their feet.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
can I ask a question? That building, oh, I'm sorry. Has the museum people, not necessarily the executive director, but the board, I guess you call them, have they had a chance to go look at it and see if it's suitable, or are we just saying, here's the building, come in and do your thing?
And it's not a public museum, it'll be storage and restoration.
Okay.
But we're happy, in fact, we do have a tour on Tuesday coming up, so any of the board members that would like to join that tour are certainly welcome to.
I'm talking about the board from the museum.
No, I was saying, well, the board, the museum board's welcome to join.
Okay, thank you.
We haven't done a lot of touring yet because of all the disruption with all the maintenance items going on.
Okay, thank you.
Then the next item I had to tell you about, I believe in the past we had mentioned to you that because the races are such a world, excuse me,
I
sir.
want to go back to the
Yes, sir.
building. You said you've done $86,000 in repairs,
We've done some of those repairs, not all those are complete at this point.
but we approved the last council meeting $45,000.
It's been over a period of time.
Who's paying for the repairs? And we approved as from the general fund to pay $45,000. Who's paying those above the $45,000?
So at this point, the airport has been paying, and there is a project that the museum is budgeted to pay on, I can't remember, was that HVAC or?
No, the airport paid for the HVAC.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing the museum will be required to do from their end would be based on the security cameras that they want to install, and then any aesthetics that they appear to do.
That's a little different than what the ordinance that we passed, or the resolution,
Well,
or the spending, or whatever it was called. I can go back to the minutes that are in here. That's different than what you asked us to approve last time,
and I think,
last council meeting.
yes, sir. And I think bear in mind, the 87 is partial or projected
Right.
number of
That's
what it
correct.
cost, not actual cost. So we
Yeah,
have-
but I'm just
we have
saying,
not-
you asked us to approve $45,000 out of the general budget.
Yes,
Now
sir.
she's saying we don't have to do that.
And we learned that today.
Pardon?
We learned that today, the $87,000.
But Bobby's just saying that the airport enterprise fund is paying for all of that work. So we will not have to pay the $45,000 that we approved last council meeting.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
it
That's
wasn't-
correct, is that what you're saying?
Wasn't some of that to pay the rent where they're currently at?
45,000 was, the whole package was 100,000 or 80-some thousand, something like that. And that was for 2 months rent at the facility that they're in.
Yeah,
Yes.
And then the rest of it was, what I want clarification is who's paying for the improvements.
And so to be clear, that paid the rent where they're at, but also they would be paying for a security camera system.
That's it.
Yes, sir.
So the rest of the restoration is gonna be paid by,
Yes, sir.
okay,
That's
just
right.
one clarification.
Yes, sir.
I did have a question about security cameras. Didn't they just pay for one in the location right now? Can they not move that over?
I believe those security cameras already existed. They may have needed to be connected. I believe the security camera system existed when they moved
So
in.
just Jeff, do you know? Sorry.
I do.
She was saying they had to maintain some of those sites until they were completely moved over, so we were gonna have to put new ones in the new sites so they can.
Sorry.
Caroline was stating that they had to have active monitoring on both sides until they get completely moved over. So we'd have to keep what's existing up and get some new ones in the other side, but we were gonna do minimal, just to cover the main entrances and exits, and then we can move the
rest
other ones over.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you.
And then, of course, as a federally obligated airport, there will be a lease agreement. In the lease agreement, the rent is $7.50 a square foot versus the $12 they're currently paying a square foot. So there will be some savings there, and of course, city building, city lease. So then, because of the activity of the interest that was raised during the air races, I've been having lengthy conversations with the International Aerobatic Championship Group that has regional competitions, state or national competition and world competition. They're having a board meeting here in about 3 weeks in Oshkosh, and they are looking at starting to hold those events here in Roswell. Of course, it'd be a different time of year. They're looking like early spring, March, April timeframe for their events. And it's a whole new, different set of folks and different set of attention and worldwide recognition.
Just be careful, March and April, it's super windy.
I remember those winds in Dustin. So they'll be doing some site visits, and we'll be talking some more to them and working through those issues. Then on last Friday, Omar Gonzalez and myself went to Albuquerque to the State Aviation Conference that was held at the DOT building up there. It was a good meeting. We learned a lot. Probably the best thing we learned is they have money to spend, so we're doing our best to help them with that. Then sadly, on the 7th of November, we did a final walkthrough with the ILEA folks with that great building that's out the airport, and it is a fantastic building. So we did a final walkthrough on that. We are having it cleaned this month. I mean, it was generally in pretty good shape, but just some things needed done, a little bit of painting where things were taken off walls, that sort of thing. But we'll have all that done, and then we hope to have some new tenants soon. We've talked to a couple different entities about potential rent, and we'll be back to you with some information on that as well. And then, if the ladies can help me with some photos. So one of the requirements that we have with an air carrier airport, of course, is well-trained fire departments. So the fire department here, they're fantastic to work with, I can tell you that. And they're very smart, and they're very, very cautious about how they spend money. So in the past, to get the folks trained, they would have to go to other cities to do live fire training, which is a requirement. So we talked about it, and this time they did the live fire training here. Now, the last time they did it and they trained 22 firefighters, they went to Lubbock. It cost roughly $900 per firefighter, not counting their travel expense, their overtime to go. And now that same cost is escalated to about $1,200 a person. So they said, let's do it in Roswell. So they did all the research, and we did it in Roswell. We've done it this week, in fact, 3 nights this week. And what it cost was $17,000, and they trained the entire department. So about 75 guys got trained on their home turf, on their home equipment, and no travel cost, no overtime cost. So that was an excellent thing. We're happy to do that, and in the future, that training was so fine, we can actually sell it to other communities to bring them here. So let's just kind of go through some of these pictures. You can see some of the things that went on. It is, like I say, live fire training, and they use propane. The area will train the entire department, which is just awesome, which they haven't been able to do previously.
And where was this held in the airport?
Oh, and by the way, you may recognize one of these firefighters in this last photo.
This was at the fire training center on
Oh,
Brasher.
Brasher, okay.
So it worked very well, it saved a lot of money and got done what we were required to get done. Only we were able to train, like I say, the entire department instead of a portion of the department and a whole lot more money. So we're very happy about that. And then my last item is just, I'd like to say thank you to council. As of this month, I started as your interim director a year ago, and I'd just like to say thank you for the opportunity, and I enjoy being here.
Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you so much, we appreciate that. Next on the agenda is the Main Street Roswell UFO Festival report.
Good afternoon, Mayor Pro Tem Juliana Halverson and City Councilors. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Barbara Gomez. I'm the Executive Director for Main Street Roswell. And Main Street Roswell, in conjunction with the City of Roswell, coordinated the 24 and 25 UFO festivals. We want to thank you right now for the opportunity to present to you the 2025 UFO Festival report for the event that was held from July the 3rd to July the 6th. This year was the first year that we have held the festival on a Thursday. And the reason that we did that was because the City of Roswell wanted to have a drone show, and they received funding to be able to have the drone show. So we moved some things around to be able to have the drone show on Thursday. And that Thursday, we probably had more people in the Main Street District right within that area in front of the courthouse and Pioneer Plaza than we've ever had. It was a really great drone show. A collaborative UFO group was formed with Main Street Roswell and the board of Main Street Roswell taking the lead, and with the assistance and guidance of City Councilor Juliana Halverson and the City of Roswell Special Events Supervisor T.J. Conyers and staff. This group also consisted of the International UFO Museum, Galacticon, Roswell Daily Record, Miniatures and Curious Collections Museum. We held about 8 to 10 group meetings were held from February of 2025 till June of 2025 with this group. This year, the group chose the theme unclassified. So she's already put the PowerPoint up there, so it shows you all of the people that helped us. Also, Chaves County, Keep Chaves County Beautiful, also provided trash and cleanup services for us. We also hired somebody to do the cleanup on the streets in all the areas, including the areas where the parade was held. This year, as we did last year, the event was held on 7 blocks of Main Street, starting on 5th Street and going all the way to Alameda. We had 2 stages, one on the north side on 5th Street, which ended up being a really great stage with lots of music, and also on the south side in front of El Toro Bravo. We wanted to keep entertainment going throughout the whole district. And going on to the next slide, please. We received funding, but with that funding, and I'll go into the funding in just a little bit, we did nationwide advertisement. The city received extensive coverage across local, regional, national platforms, including prominent publications. And our marketing efforts spanned social media, radio, billboards, hotels, posters, and banners. Additionally, there were numerous interviews and mentions on television stations such as KOB and national news networks and international podcasts. And the day of the event, on the weekend of the event, I personally was stopped by a number of people that were here internationally. Some of them were here from Canada, some of them were here from Paris, and they wanted interviews as well. So that was a really cool opportunity for us. We also had interviews with KOB TV out of Albuquerque. Funding of the event. First of all, I do want to thank the city of Roswell for assisting us with the funding, and we always appreciate that. And with that funding, we're able to do a lot of free events throughout the whole event. So Main Street will receive sponsorship of $50,000. Galacticon received $10,000. The Miniature Museum received $2,500, and the Roswell Daily Record received $10,000. With that funding, again, we were able to provide a lot of free entertainment. Everything that was up and down the streets, everything from the stormtroopers to still walkers, Robotron, you name it, we had it. So we also had, on the south side, we had inflatables, and we have water slides, and of course, music throughout the whole area. So we had a great time with the, been able to do what we needed to do to make the event more exciting for everyone. The next one will show you that, of course, we hosted several blocks of Main Street. Also on the Main Street district, on the south side of it, we held a car show that was very well received. We also had a cornhole tournament that was held on the corner of Main and Walnut at the auto, what is it called? Auto, I always get the name wrong, call it AutoZone, but it's not, Advanced Auto. At the Advanced Auto location. We also held the human costume contest and the UFO parade. And Galacticon also hosted a very popular pet costume contest. I think they probably had more entries than anybody else. Everything from dogs to lizards, so very interesting. And a snake. I don't know how you dress a snake up, but they did. And along with all the family-friendly events that we had, the Galacticon brought in the internet sensation, the flying saucer car. And again, like I told you, the Roswell Daily Record assisted the city of Roswell with the drone show. The city of Roswell also hosted the alien chase run. Roswell Museum and Curious Collectibles hosted a free community trek star, making recycled materials for free as well for people to come in and make all kinds of items. Let's see, as far as attendance, the International UFO Museum hosted a number of UFOologists during the 3 days and continued to host daily tours through the museum. They reported almost 10,000 visitors throughout the museum during that weekend. There's a lot of people. So as far as attendance goes, right now we really don't have a really great way to count people, but we're starting with an estimation of 10,000 with the UFO Museum and going on from there with all the people we have throughout. We're guesstimating anything from 10 to 20,000 people come during the weekend. And again, like I said, 10,000 come to the UFO Museum. And I again want to tell you that we are united for success right now. We really are. We work with TJ, we work with that group, we work with Juliana, and with our other partners here in town. And I believe that the collaborative nature of this event is what has made it successful and very well attended. The coordination with the city of Roswell, has made this transition from a city-run event to a community-run event, a smooth transition. So we're really thankful for that. So thank you to TJ and their group and everyone else. So I do want to say a big thank you to the city of Roswell, Chaffetz County Sheriff's Department deputies and staff. And I also want to do a special shout out to City Councilor Juliana Halverson. If you've not seen her graphics, she's ultimately the best graphic artist in town. And so she does a lot for us, pretty much at no cost to us at all, so thank you. And I also want to thank the many departments within the city that step up to assure that we had what we needed, including TJ Conyer, Special Events Supervisor. She was truly a huge part of this team's success. She was available, professional, and willing to help with a good attitude and a smile. Many others include Chad Cole, City Manager, Mr. Hess, City Attorney, Amanda Dickerson with the guest services supervisor, Jim Sexy. I have to tell you, that man is a saint. He is the nicest person ever. He did so many maps for me. I can say, no, move it here, move it there, make it bigger, make it smaller. And he is just great to work with, so I really appreciate him. The sanitation, streets department, Roswell Police Department, Roswell Fire Department. We also want to thank Mayor Tim Jennings in the city of Roswell, the Finance Committee, Legal Committee, and city councilors for your overwhelming support of this event. As the 2025 UFO Committee, we appreciate your support, and then we hope that you agree that the event was well run, well attended, and that the city of Roswell and Chaffetz County were overwhelmingly represented as the home of the internationally known UFO festival. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything Main Street does, and I just want everyone to know they're all volunteers, so they're all doing this out of the goodness in their heart. If you haven't been to the UFO Festival, I highly recommend you go, because it is so much fun, especially if you want to have people contest or have awesome contests. And I'm glad you recognized TJ, Amanda, and even Sarah, because they're with the special events with the city, and they do an amazing job, and I don't think they always get the credit they deserve, because they are easy to work with.
Yeah, they are easy to work with, and we had a number of meetings specifically outside of the UFO committee. We had specific meetings just with TJ and her group, and really figured out what we wanted to do, how we wanted to collaborate, all of this, so we are really appreciative.
When you got Jim Sexy, he sits in his office, he's quiet, but he's helped Main Street Roswell.
I have so many maps. I mean, for every single event, he creates the most beautiful maps, and it really helps me whenever I'm signing, whenever I'm requesting closures of a DOT highway. They appreciate those maps. So that's a great help for us as well. So thank you. Comments, any questions? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Next on the agenda, Catalina Muniz Award for the 2025 Project Excellence Awards to James McCormick and Andrew Dunn.
Mayor Pro Tem, City Council members, the Catalina Munoz Award for 2025 Project Excellent Award was awarded to James McCormack and Andrew Valdez on behalf of the city of Roswell and its wastewater collection line emergency response during the Presidential Disaster Declaration 4843 designation response. To give you a little background, the award philosophy for the Catalina Munoz Award highlights projects that surpass expectations to improve community lives, demonstrating vision for long-term sustainability and the health of communities they serve. A little background on Catalina Munoz Project Excellence Award. Is provided for infrastructure projects and provided technical assistance to rural communities across New Mexico through organizations including the Rural Community Assistance Corporation. So to give you a little background on our own people and our own departments, water and wastewater is very well known throughout the state of New Mexico for their expertise, and they provide that expertise and help other communities with their wastewater treatment and provide that free advice and guidance to a lot of our rural communities. Catalina herself helped communities replace aging infrastructure, secure funding, and navigate complex reporting requirements. Her dedication to working with volunteers and community members, often going above and beyond expectations, exemplifies the spirit of service that drives transformative infrastructure projects. And I think that is a perfect description for both Andrew Valdez and James McCormack and the teams that work with them and for them. So, congratulations, guys. Thank you.
Come up here and take a picture.
Yeah. Do you mind?
I don't wanna be in the picture.
You don't want to be in the picture, well, then fall into the
Hey, good job, man. James, great job, man.
Let's see what he's here from.
Yeah, you guys get a gold star. No, yeah.
Congratulations.
Bring your gold star, guys.
I'm gonna go down to Jeannie.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you.
I don't know if I can get all of them in the back in here.
Don't worry, everything important.
Just make sure you get 29.
Thank you.
Wait.
Go down this phone.
Well, it's from all the other.
Oh.
All right, next on the agenda, employee out-of-state travel. Is Chief Bateman here or? Is he Chief Chavez?
Cut from the chief baby. Mayor Pro Tem, councilors, just wanted to run a quick report, give you an update on the water rescue team. Mr. Chad Cole asked us several months ago to look into building this water rescue team. So we got a group of guys from the fire department, a group of guys from the police department, put a list together and got them signed to go to San Antonio to do a training with TEEX, one of the top water rescue schools in the country. And so we're sending 7 lieutenants and 5 truck engineers, along with 4 PD officers. I'll hand over the list of names to Ms. Somali, but I just want to give you guys a rundown on the water rescue team. It is moving forward. We will have a team of 16 initially, and then we'll look to build on that. We were awarded an LMTV, a big water rescue truck from the municipal league. So we now have that in our fleet. So that we can not commit fire trucks to so that was a big start. We'll also got some more donors. We're looking at receiving a Zodiac boat to attach to the LMTV, so we'll have a fully functional water rescue team. They'll be leaving in January. There'll be two classes. One will be January the 23rd. The other one will be February the 9th. So we'll be heading that direction and have a fully mobile water rescue team. So if Ritos has reached out, they're doing the same thing, and so we'll have a mutual response with both us and Ritos. So it's just kind of a rundown on the out-of-state travel and the water rescue team.
So the 2 classes, are the same people both or different people in each?
It'll be the same boat.
Same people?
Yes, same people for this team will stay the same. Ritos is also getting awarded the same boat. They've got the same LMTV that we got, so all the trainings will coordinate with each other. Ritos will open up some trainings for us, and we'll send our team over there to train with them as well.
So that's what I was gonna ask. I know we talked about, and once they're trained, are we able to train them here? To train our people?
There's an awareness class that we can have here, but we just don't have water.
Okay, yeah.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, and one of the other things that we need to point out is Clint Caldwell and Shelley Bell fronted the cost for this class, $22,000 class to send all of our personnel. And then we also partnered with Eastern New Mexico University to reimburse that cost. So all of that class and training will be free of charge for us. So that's a good opportunity, and thank you to the college and Shelley Bell for.
And if I could, Dr. Powell and Todd DeKay, which we all know from the community, reached out to me and said, hey, we've got some training monies. We'd love to partner up with your city to provide trainings. We connected Todd and Clint and Shelley Bell in our HR department because they're doing a lot of trainings nowadays. They just finished a supervisor training, but it dovetailed in nicely, and we got to pay for the smart rescue training for fire department.
That's amazing, that's good, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good stuff.
Good evening, councilors. Our out-of-state travel coming up, the first one we have on the list that you have already happened back in October, and it was on the last council. I don't know why she put it on this council. She even put a note previously went, but notifying again, so we're notifying you again. They went to SWAT training, SWAT competition. Second one, Officer Robert Cardiel, Roberto De La Cruz are two of our new traffic division officers. They're going to CDR training, which the CDR allows them to pull diagnostics out of vehicles that have been in crashes, so we can pull all the crash data out of the vehicle. So they have to be certified in that as part of their also reconstruction duties. The third one, Sergeant Trong Nguyen, Nara Sention, and Captain Joe Smith. They're part of our use of force group panel, and they're going to a use of force summit in Connecticut, December 2nd through December 4th. Gain knowledge and insights from this conference to enhance the ability to evaluate incidents, ensure compliance, policy and law, and contribute to the department's ongoing commitment to transparency and accountability as members of the Use of Force Board, which also in the long run, the board reviews everything and comes up with training to keep this from getting lawsuits and stuff. I stand for any questions.
How they do in the SWAT competition?
I'm sorry, ma'am?
How did they do in the SWAT competition?
Pretty good. I can't remember what place, they didn't win it, but they're up against usually the Texas ones, Dallas, San Antonio, Houston, the big city SWAT teams, and they're usually always in the top 5 or 6. So they're pretty squared away.
Any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next on the agenda is public participation. You'll only have one person sign up, Nancy Fleming.
Fleming. I sort of have my answer already answered, but my name is Nancy Fleming. I am on the Roswell Museum Board of Trustees, and as such, I do feel it would be my due diligence if I didn't come and respectfully ask that the Board of Trustees and the city staff, meaning the museum directors and staff, get to see where they are going to move their staff and their collections currently in their care. The one thing that I would kind of add to that, hopefully, is that we really would love to have a formal inspection of the building regarding asbestos as securities. That might already be needed for insurance, but also because of our continuing accreditation purposes, it really needs to be a very special place for our special staff and our special collections. So thank you for scheduling something on Tuesday. We will show up. Okay.
Thank you. Okay. Now we're up to our regular agenda, public hearing, 19. Councilor Holzman.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I propose that we hold a public hearing and vote on the Restaurant B for a beer, wine, and spirits license with on-premise consumption for Lemongrass Thai LLC, doing business as Lemongrass Thai Cuisine, located at 610 South Main Street, Roswell, New Mexico.
So this is a public hearing. I guess we swear everyone in. Do you want to swear everyone in for all the public hearings?
Yes.
They're coming up at the same time? If anyone is going to speak regarding number 19, number 20, or number 21, do you want number 22 in there too, Councilor? Yes. So we've got number 22, yes, swearing for number 22? Okay, so number 22. So anyone speaking on 19, 20, 21, or 22, please stand and our clerk will swear you in.
Can you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilor Heldenbrand and a second by Councilor Arnold.
Madam Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Pro Tem Burris, You guys remember these, the way that these hearings work is if the licenses are granted by default unless you make a negative finding based on the record presented. So generally speaking, if nobody speaks in the negative, you guys can just hold the vote right away.
Does anyone have any questions? Anyone wish to speak on this? Okay, I guess we can take, is it roll call? Take a roll call.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand?
Aye.
Counselor Marujo?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Counselor Cavan?
Yes.
Counselor Oropesa?
Yes.
Counselor Cortez?
Aye.
Counselor Corn?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
No.
Counselor Halverson?
Yes.
Motion passes 9-1.
Thank you. Okay, next item on the agenda is number 20, Councilor Holden.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. We're going to move to hold a public hearing and a vote on for a beer, wine, and spirits license with on-premise consumption only and patio service for Backdraft Barbecue LLC located at 301 North Railroad Avenue.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilor Hildebrand and seconded by Councilor Arnold.
That'd be quicker.
Anyone wish to speak on this? Does anyone any councilors have any questions? Okay, I guess we take a roll call.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand?
Aye.
Counselor Marujo?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Counselor Cavan?
Yes.
Counselor Oropesa?
Yes.
Counselor Cortez?
Aye.
Counselor Corn?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
No.
And Counselor Halverson?
Yes.
Motion passes 9-1.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is number 21.
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. Move to hold a public hearing and vote on a beer, wine, spirits license with on-premise consumption for JASAL LLC doing business as Los Cerritos Mexican Kitchen located at 2103 North Main Street.
Second.
Any questions, discussion on this item? All right, the roll call vote, please.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Hildenbrand?
Aye.
Counselor Marujo?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Counselor Cavan?
Yes.
Counselor Oropesa?
Yes.
Counselor Cortez?
Aye.
Counselor Corn?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
No.
Counselor Halverson?
Yes.
Motion passes 9-1.
Madam Clerk, who was the second on that?
Counselor Marujo?
No. Okay, next item on the agenda is item number 22, Councilor Holden.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. Move to hold a public hearing to consider adopting proposed ordinance 25-06, amending chapter 11 of the Roswell City Code regarding flood damage protection.
Second.
Okay, Mr. McCormick, please.
Mayor Pro Tem, Councilors, this item is ordinance 2506 to amend Chapter 11 of the Roswell City Code regarding flood damage protection. The City of Roswell had a community assistant visit from FEMA personnel a few months ago where they audited our floodplain administration activities. During this visit, required updates were identified to the city flood damage prevention ordinance to enable the city to remain compliant with National Flood Insurance Program regulations. The proposed changes are directly from language in the Code of Federal Regulations, Title 44, and FEMA guidance documents. Note these proposed changes will not affect the current process or procedures in floodplain administration. And the legal committee recommended approval 4-0 at their meeting on September 25th, 2025. And if you'll humor me, I'll quickly go through the red line proposed changes. Starting on page 5 of the ordinance, which is page 186 of your packet. About halfway down the page, it's just a grammatical correction saying reduce or eliminate as opposed to reduce to eliminate. The next change is on page 8 of the ordinance, page 159 of your packet, towards the bottom of the page. Rewording that portion of the paragraph and removing the map number, which was inaccurate, wasn't our current map number. The next page, page 9 of the ordinance, page 160 of your packet, towards the top of the page, adding the word floodplain to that sentence. And FEMA personnel wanted that added to reflect the title of our permit document. So they wanted to say floodplain development permit because that is the title of the permit document that we issue for development in the floodplain. Page 10 of the ordinance, 161 of your packet, paragraph 6, adding a federal emergency management agency to the list of people that we would have to notify if we were to alter or relocate a waterway. Paragraph 8, just a grammatical correction, when base flood elevation data has not been provided versus is not been provided. Page 11 of the ordinance, 162 of your packet, top of the page. Instead of saying applies for conditional firm revision through FEMA, stating completes all the provisions required by Code of Federal Regulations 6512. The intent of this is if we were to approve a significant amendment that would change the water surface elevation of the base flood by more than 1 foot, it's not enough that we just notify FEMA that we're doing it. We have to go through all the steps to get FEMA approval. Paragraph A, again adding floodplain to reflect the title of the permit document that we issue. And same change in paragraph B, about the middle of the page, adding floodplain to reflect the title of the permit document. Next change is on page 14 of the ordinance, page 165 of your packet. Paragraph 3, enclosures. Adding language to that states enclosures are usable solely for parking of vehicles, building access, or storage in an area other than a basement. This section is referring to structures which are more prevalent on coastal areas where the bottom portion of the structure is like a garage or a place for parking, and then the actual housing unit is elevated above. So this paragraph is stating that in those situations, the enclosure portion of the structure could be below the base flood elevation level. But it would have to be usable solely for parking, access, or storage. And paragraph A underneath that, adding on separate walls into that. So we say a minimum of 2 openings on separate walls. The intent of that is that if we were to approve an enclosure that was subject to flooding, it would have to have openings to allow floodwaters to flow through the structure. That's the intent of that portion. The next updates are on page 15 of the ordinance, page 166 of your packet, paragraph B, adding AH to the list of zones. And then paragraph 1 underneath that, grammatical, manufactured home, park, or subdivision as opposed to of subdivision. Paragraph 2 underneath that, new manufactured home, park, or subdivision, adding the word home. Then page 16 of the ordinance, towards the top of the page, paragraph B, again adding floodplain to reflect the title of the permit document. And then around the bottom, the middle of the page, paragraph 1, adding some verbiage to say all new construction and substantial improvements of residential structures have a lowest floor elevated to or above the base flood elevation or the highest adjacent grade at least as high as the depth number specified in the feet on the community's firm. So this reflects, at least for Roswell, there's really 2 conditions in base flood elevation. One is a specific elevation above sea level, as an example, say 3,610 feet above sea level. The other situation would be that it's specified that a certain property is subject to a certain depth of flood water, 1 foot, 2 foot. So this is reworded to reflect both of those conditions. Then a little bit further down, paragraph B, rewording that to say, together with the tenant utility and sanitary utilities be designated so that below the base specified flood depth in an AO zone or below the base flood elevation in an AH zone, the structure is watertight with walls substantially impermeable to the passage of water. In essence, this is reworded to reflect the same thing that we just discussed for commercial structures. Commercial structures would have the option to flood proof the structures below the base flood elevation level, base flood level. Page 17 of the ordinance, 168 of your packet. Top of the page, paragraph 4, adding the word drainage to make it clear that we're talking about drainage paths around structures. And then paragraph 1, adding verbiage so that it's now going to read, encroachments are prohibited, including fill, new construction, substantial improvements, and other development within the adopted regulatory floodway unless it has been demonstrated through hydrologic and hydraulic analysis performed in accordance with standard engineering practice that the proposed encroachments would not result in any increase in flood levels within the community during the occurrence of a base flood discharge. So a regulatory floodway is different from a floodplain. Floodway is generally limited to the banks of a drainage channel or river. So this says that encroachments are prohibited within those floodways unless we have a hydrologic and hydraulic study showing that that it won't affect the flood levels. And then paragraph 3, a little further down, adding the word program to National Flood Insurance Program regulations, just to reflect the correct title. And then again, saying that we have in a situation where we had an encroachment that would result in an increase in base flood elevations, we have to not just notify FEMA, but complete all the provisions required by Code of Federal Regulations 6512. So again, it's not enough that we would just notify FEMA. In that circumstance, we'd have to go through all the steps to get FEMA approval. Those are all the changes, and I'll stand for questions.
Any questions? Okay, thank you. So I have a motion by Councilor Hildenbrand, second by Councilor Cabin. Is this a roll call or voice vote? Roll call. Roll call.
Councilor Arnold? Yes. Councilor Hildenbrand?
Aye.
Councilor Marujo?
Yes.
Councilor Johnson?
Yes.
Councilor Cabin?
Yes.
Councilor Oropesa?
Yes.
Councilor Cortez?
Aye.
Councilor Corn?
Yes.
Councilor Moore?
Yes.
Councilor Halverson?
Yes.
Motion passes 10-0.
Thank you, Ms. McCormick. Okay, next item on the agenda, number 23.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I move for approval for advertising for RFP 26-002 for design professional services for flood-related projects.
Second.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, councilors. This request is for approval to advertise RFP 26-002 for design professional services for flood-related projects. We're requesting architectural and engineering firms submit proposals for the purposes of developing plans to repair flood damages and incorporate hazard mitigation measures where necessary as a result of our October flood event that has required a FEMA public assistance claim. The legal committee considered this item at its October 23rd meeting, and I'll stand for any questions.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Matt Rogers, been in your office quite a bit. Could you, just for the public's knowledge, the tasks you've been working on, the things you've been tasked with in the city, and just a general update for the public on the items you work on, and et cetera?
Of course. Back in May, we provided FEMA with a damage inventory of 350 items and over $200 million in potential flood damage costs. And so we've been working through that damage inventory in a couple of ways. The first is recovering or getting reimbursed all of our flood-related costs. And so we've been working with finance and our consultants, DRS, or forensic accountants, to report all of these costs to FEMA in these reimbursement requests. And so these reimbursement requests get reviewed by FEMA's back office, who has subject matter experts at multiple levels reviewing the requests. And so to date, they have approved $11.5 million in reimbursement requests. So that funding then goes to the state of New Mexico, where the state has their own process for verifying that we spent the funding correctly. And so we've only received about $600,000, or about 5% of that $11.5 million. And so we're working with the state on continuing to get those reimbursements to the city. The other way we've been working through those flood damages is through physical site inspections. And this is where FEMA sends a team to verify all of our flood damage. And so they want to measure everything. And so when we have a flood damaged building, they go room by room and we identify each of the items in that room that were damaged. And so this month we completed, we believe, all of our physical site inspections. And so the next step is to then take those site inspection reports and those damage descriptions and work with engineering and architecture firms to develop plans and specs so we can bid those projects out. We've also applied for Senate Bill 31, revolving loan funds, so that, and we've received about $1 million in approved applications, and that will give us upfront funding to go out and spend that money on engineering and architecture services. That was for 2 projects, for the Adult Center and for the museum. I'll stand for any questions.
And if I could just dovetail in on that, MAC has submitted, Mr. Rogers has submitted for SB 31 funds. Those are the revolving loan funds that are paid back at a rate of 75% per project for with FEMA funds. Now those have to be a FEMA approved project, which they all are. But I'll just say that up to this point, those funds just became available through legislation of the prior year. That is the fund, you may recall, where the state of New Mexico originally started in the legislative process with $150 million in that account, competitive to all the disaster communities throughout New Mexico to compete for those $150 million in funds. And the day before the legislation actually passed into law for appropriation, they trimmed that down to $50 million. So you've got several communities, Roswell, Ruidoso, Las Vegas, etc., that are competing for those revolving loan funds that we paid back essentially through FEMA. Roswell will have its own cost in that at 25% until or unless the governor signs executive order to trim that back to 12.5% or half of 25%. So again, I think Mr. Rogers has done an outstanding job, a lot of work, and we're not even thinking about all of his work to get the air races to where they can be accomplished as well. But 23 projects submitted for SB 31 funds. As Max said, Two of those projects have been awarded at this point for the museum and the adult center to start architectural services, engineering services.
Councilor Arnold?
So, I just need some clarification. Yes, thank you, Matt, for all your hard work. It's actually probably been a lot over several months and pretty intense. I'm just a little confused here on the process, if you compare to item number 26. When it says developing plans to repair, is that actually repairing them in their current location? Or according to, I mean, does it allow for us, because I don't really think that we as a community administration or council have kind of sat down and determined where we're going to put these locations. To start on the adult center, the planning and all of that, is it right where it is, or is it for future? Because that's kind of, I think this one is kind of like the cart before the horse if we actually pass number 26. So that I was kind of confused on the value of that.
And Mac, if you could explain a zero-based project that's been approved through SB 31 funds.
Yeah, that's a great question. And so, as Mr. Cole mentioned, FEMA has already approved a version 0, which is like a placeholder grant for these architectural and engineering services. But this solicitation for proposals has no impact on the scope of work for these specific projects on the damage inventory item. And so this work is going to help us and help, a potential task force and the council make a decision on how all of these pieces get put back together. So it's not necessarily to make repairs to a specific location.
Very good, thank you. That's what I just needed that to make sure. Thank you so much.
I'm just curious, for the Boy Scout building, where that falls into was one of the other buildings.
I don't think it was on the list.
Yes.
No, it's part of
It is?
It's on the list.
Okay.
So the list that was included in the scope of work, as discussed previously, are the version 0 projects where FEMA has approved engineering funding for those projects. This RFP scope of work isn't limited in any way to those specific projects. We could use it to procure engineering services for other projects. The Boy Scout building specifically requires architectural and engineering services because there is a decision as to potential decision as to what we do with it because it's located in a special hazard flood area right next to the river, and it has a potential to flood again, and it took on 6 to 7 feet of water.
So this study essentially let us know if we can rebuild in our current location or not.
Professional opinion.
Yeah. Councilor Cohen?
Thank you, Sir Pro Tem. I've got a question. Somewhere in all of this discussion, there was some decision that was going to be made on the percentage of damage to the buildings and what you can and can't do. Could you refresh my memory?
Of course. So what you're referring to is FEMA policy has essentially a 50% rule where when the damage cost exceeds 50% of the building's replacement value, they will support moving that building to higher ground.
So has that determination been made yet? Do we know which one of the buildings is more or less than 50%?
No, it is not.
Okay. And that's what part of this is?
Correct.
It's good.
Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just, to try to clarify my own mind on something that you said, John. Who does the determination as to whether the building is can be salvaged or not?
So
Is it FEMA?
I think ultimately it's the city's decision. But FEMA policy allows for moving the building to higher ground if it meets certain conditions.
When you say moving the building, does that mean reconstruction it?
Right.
Or
building new in a different location.
okay. But the determination is made by staff engineering, I'm not sure who and the staff would make that recovery.
If I may, isn't that what the study that is going to do?
It provides a professional opinion from an engineer, yes. Yeah, and part of that is is it in a special hazard flood zone? What type of damage did it sustain, the 50% rule on total damage? It just gives us more options as a city to determine whether we want to raise that building and relocate it outside the flood zone, or if we want to renovate a building where it currently exists and assume liability, and the cost of insurance, etc.
So when you say we need, it needs to be assessed by an engineer, can it be our engineer within, or we have to contract out?
I think in some cases our engineer can make those assessments. In some cases, we need an engineer that is an expert in that type of building.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Mr. Rogers. It's a roll call. Voice votes. Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, motion carries. Okay, moving on. Next item is number 24.
I have to do that for you because that was yours. Okay, thank you. Madam Mayor Pro Tem, I move the approval for Ramon Zapata, which is an engineering technician, to exceed $1,500 in travel reimbursements for the current fiscal year per resolution 24-55.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem, councilors, we're asking for approval for Ramon Zapata as one of our engineering technicians to exceed $1,500 in travel reimbursements this current fiscal year per resolution 2455. Mr. Zapata has been attending certification courses through the Associated Contractors of New Mexico in Albuquerque to obtain the necessary certifications for the City of Roswell Materials Testing Laboratory. These certifications are essential for maintaining compliance and allowing the city to continue performing in-house testing for construction materials. To date, Mr. Zapata has participated in several sessions under this program and will be attending 6 additional training classes to complete certifications in concrete, asphalt, and densometer testing. These trainings are critical to ensure that the city maintains qualified personnel for materials testing and minimizes the need for outsourced services. The total travel reimbursements for Mr. Zapata are expected to exceed the $1,500 per fiscal year limit. Therefore, this request is being submitted for City Council review and approval in compliance with Resolution 2455. These certifications that we're sending Mr. Zapata to are specifically required for some of our New Mexico Department of Transportation funding sources. So that's why we're trying to get him all these certifications. And I'll stand for questions.
So, these are reimbursements? So he has to pay out of his pocket and reimburse him?
Correct. So things like per diem count towards this, things like mileage reimbursements, all that counts towards this.
Is there a better way to do this when they're not out of their pocket? I mean, what if they want to get certification, they can't afford it?
Madam Pro Tem, so this is how the resolution 2455 was drafted and approved by the council. There are other ways to do it, but last year when this passed, the council did not opt into them.
Yes,
So, the city obviously has its material lab.
Yes, sir.
And does it have a densometer as well?
Yes, sir.
Oh, cool. And it's monitored by the safety program and then?
Yes, sir.
By Ms. Bell?
I'm sorry?
By Ms. Bell?
Yes, we have
The safety liaison.
Yes, we have a safety officer identified to oversee that, yes.
That sounds good. I mean, it's a necessity for just about every project.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, James.
any additional questions? I'd like to look, if you can come up with something, because, I mean, I think it hurts the city to not send our people to training if they can't afford it to go up front. I just think it would hurt the city, that they don't get trained because they can't afford it up front. No other questions, is this voice vote?
I second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next time on the agenda is item number 25.
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I move.
I'm not sure, but I think this is one.
This is one.
We're talking about resolution 2556.
No, we're at the $1,500 limit for.
Item
Oh,
25.
sorry, you're right.
I'll start all over again here.
I'll wake up in a minute. I'll wake up in a
Well,
minute.
I move to approve Sergeant Gwynn to exceed the $1,500 limit in travel reimbursements for the current fiscal year in accordance with resolution 24-55.
Second.
Yes, she paid it.
Counselors, Sergeant Wynn is going to exceed the $1,500 travel reimbursement limit. Tom Wynn is on our SWAT team and also our head recruiting sergeant. So he's tasked with a lot of stuff, so he has to go to extra training, keep a certification. So I ask that you approve the extension so we can send him to this next training.
Same thing, he's having to pay for it and then get reimbursed.
A lot of things.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Thank you so much. Next on the items agenda is item number 26. Councilor Cortez. Councilor Corn. Okay. Sorry. I'm going by this paper.
He was jumping to one talk earlier.
Yeah. Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Finally got it right. I move that we adopt resolution 2556, creating the Roswell Flood Recovery Task Force.
Second.
Is this yours, Councilor?
Hmm?
Heinzema?
No, I think just go to Councilor Cortez.
Oh, okay. Councilor Cortez.
Pro Tem, thank you very much. It's been a pretty fast clip of meeting here, and we'll try to keep that going. For the record, Madam Clerk, happy birthday, and 48 days, 5 hours, 8 minutes left. So I'll miss you very much. So yeah, I guess the mayor's not here to tell a story, so I figure someone has to tell a story.
No, they don't.
No, I do. I'm gonna tell you a story.
I even said I wouldn't tell a
It'll be
story.
quick, it'll be really quick, so. So what we have up here is the national preparedness goal, so, I don't know, a lot of you might know, but my house was flooded, on Riverside, so this is a little personal to me. That's why I really feel very strongly about this resolution and the need for this for the community, so that's the story. So that wasn't too bad. And
Sad story.
it's a sad story, yeah, we're still there, so we're all working on it. So the goal here is to, this is the national preparedness goal, and we're coming under a FEMA framework for how to recover from flood. And those are the items there. It's not just repairing and recovering, which the city staff has been working on very diligently with a lot of appreciation to Mr. Rogers. For those of you in the community that know, you can look this up. It talks about prevention, and the guideline that I'm suggesting is available there online. So it's the FEMA framework, it's current version, and that's kind of what we're trying to get to, is a more comprehensive recovery. Let me go to the next slide real quick, we'll keep moving. This is an important graphic. I think it summarizes where we are. If you look at the upper right corner, you see that disaster occurs, and this isn't a linear process, right? So it's kind of like a boomerang, it goes around in a circle, you throw it, it comes around. And so what you have is disaster, which you all experienced, and that first thing is recovery. We'll say that my experience in the flood and the community was we responded really well to the flood. The nonprofits, the churches, they were all out. You know, it's only a year ago, but it's hard to realize that it was that short of a time. But so we go here, and then there's this cycle, right? And we go through, we're recovering, and we're coming back around, and we're trying to get back to a steady state, and then being prepared for the next disaster. Obviously, we hope there won't be one, but you know, we don't get to choose that. So you can go to the next one real quick. So it's a life cycle. This is a more linear drawing. I think this is useful. It shows that you have that initial response, and then you start going into these longer time frames for recovery, rebuilding, but also mitigation. The estimates we've received, you know, the city also, just for the record, it's kind of lost in the mix here over the last year. The city did hire FEMA consultants, specialized people. It's what they do for a living. You know, the recovery and rebuilding could take 10 to 15 years. I'm 50. So I'll be 65 at a 15-year mark. I think it's important for us to all think about where we might be in 10 to 15 years, and the purpose of the task force is partially to provide some continuity beyond just the city councilors here, which might not be around. I think we calculated 15 years, you could potentially have 42 city councilors and 4 or 5 mayors in that time frame, potentially. So there's a lot of turnover there. We're trying to build something beyond that. You can go to the next one. This is kind of the last one that I think is really critical, because in my work, which I work with an engineering company, we have to be really careful about scope, and I think people don't think about scope a lot. You'll hear Mac and Mr. McCornack talk about scope a lot. What can we do as a city, as a local government? And we're just a little part of that wheel right there on the right-hand side. At the center of recovery, FEMA says that is the community. And the city can do some things, and we're already doing some of these. But the task force job is to kind of integrate in with other community elements, other parts of the state government, nonprofits, philanthropic groups, and move forward in a more holistic way. And that's kind of the goal. So if you guys, I would encourage you all to read this document, pay careful attention to what the city can do, the local government's roles and responsibilities, and then of course try to get people that will support that. Can't guarantee that the task force will be successful. Recovery is not a quick race. It's it's like the Baja 1000, right? It's long, it's arduous, it's bumpy. It doesn't guarantee that we're going to succeed, but I think it's worth trying. That's why I brought this resolution forward. I appreciate Councilor Korn bringing it in front of Finance. I appreciate staff helping put this all together for us, and I hope that we can continue to move forward and work together. So, thank you very much.
Thank you. I really appreciate all the work. I know you do a lot of research on this. And I do agree with you. The city's response to staff, everything was wonderful. And I know it's extremely frustrating for us, because it's been over a year and we still haven't made much progress on recovery. So it's frustrating for me. I don't know about the rest of the community as well. So any other questions? Yes, sir.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think the task force is an important element for our city. But I do have at least one concern on the resolution, and that is on item number 6 on page 2, which talks about the number of members, and the resolution says made up of 5 members. And I'm not sure what the intention of, or why we have put a number, or a small number, in my opinion, as to how many members can be on the task force. So I don't know if that's a question to Chad, a question to Councilor Cortez, or whoever. But I think, in my opinion, I think it should be opened up because it talks about experience in public safety, construction, engineering, hydrology, and so forth and so on. But in my opinion, I think it should have at least some members from the community that are not in this, in these fields, but have experienced the problems that we had with the disaster that we had back in October. And I would hope that we could compromise and maybe up the number 5 to something else, whatever that something else may be.
I think the idea of Councilor Orpeza was to keep the task force relatively small for focus and efficiency. I agree with you that we need a broad base of community. My vision of the task force was always that expressly there are going to be times we're going to be reaching out to different members of the community. The task force has expressly written a resolution to go out and seek that out. And, to have that sort of unfettered, hey, if we want to talk to museum board people, we can pull them in, bring them in special. But I actually don't have. I don't know if the other city councilors, we brought this to finance. I like a small committee. Obviously, we have to have an odd number. I have no opposition to a slightly larger number if that expands the capacity of the task force. I would, I appreciate the concern, and I think it's valid. And I'm not attached to my idea so much that I would disagree if someone were to offer an amendment. But that's where I look at it.
How are you? Councilor Harn?
Thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. I actually agree with Councilman Orpeza. I think one of my biggest concerns in this whole process is we have organizations who have really stepped up to work and create coalitions in our community that are working towards flood recovery as well. I feel like there's a sort of a river between the administration and the community groups. So I too agree that we should have community teams on there. It's either add to the number or like this is just an example of a team that was created. It's called the Community Crisis Coalition in Chaves County. And they have, of course, been out working to assist the public in connecting to FEMA funds on repairing their home. And so the reason I think it's imperative that we have at least one community member on this task force is so that they can be abreast of what's happening and relay it to the community because they are working right with these organizations. And I'm not so much for that we have to step out of 5. I think 7, 2 community members. The thing is you have the mayor who's appointing. So this is our opportunity to provide direction. And I actually believe that the wording could actually just note, one community, because you have a lot of professionals, which is, I think, very advantageous for a group like this. I think it's a great idea, but there again, I think we should add 2 positions that are community-based or add verbiage that one of the 5 at least should be community-based, and that's just, that's just my perspective. So thank you, Councilman Orpeza. Thank you, Councilman Cortez, and I'm really excited that we're moving forward in this direction.
Councilor Corn?
Thank you, Madam Pro Tem. My concern with, you can make this 100 people. And my concern is, look at 8. All these people serve as volunteers, not getting paid, no compensation, no reimbursement. And if you get too many members, then getting enough of them together to have a quorum to transact the business becomes a problem. Because I've seen that in other positions I've had, where you have this large group and they call a meeting and they don't even have a quorum show up. And that's a big problem. This is not going to preclude anybody, any group from, and I would hope, I don't know how they're going to manage their business, but they're pretty informal and take everything that's available from everybody. And then help us by directing us and going through the various steps. So that's my concern. I don't know what a perfect number is. 5 seems to work pretty well. Most of our appointed groups for 5 members that are helping us make decisions. And that's just a number. I'm not trying to, I don't want to exclude anybody, but if you look at the area of different fields that are negated here, I know a couple of people, we can fill a couple of these. And I think we're after the expertise that they bring to the table instead of just the volume of people. Because you get a lot of people that will get so focused on their specific project, whatever that is, museum, recreation center, the convention center, the Boy Scout hut, the old Park and Recreation office. And you'll get people that close their mind to the overall picture because they're so interested in their specific focus. And that concerns me. I think we've got people in the community that can meet all these qualifications, or the majority of them. You're not going to, I mean, if you just count the public safety, construction, architecture, engineering, hydrology, and just because these are listed, this may not be all the different areas of expertise that you need. So I hope that those 5 individuals, whomever they're going to be, will have the forethought to reach out and say, oh, we need somebody that's an expert in this area, and get them in to testify, similar to what we do in city council. We bring experts into our committees all the time to find out if we're thinking right or if we're completely off base. And you've been here longer than I have, and you understand that sometimes what I was thinking wasn't even close to the mark. And so that's the reason why a small number, in my opinion, works. And so they can stay focused on the overall task and bring us the information we need, or if they can back, or city manager, or whoever, bring a focus of the whole thing instead of just a very narrow view. And by expanding this, 2 things happen to you. You can't have meetings because not enough people show up, because we're not paying them. They're doing it for the good of the community. I don't know what the magic number is, but 5's a good start. If it doesn't work, this is easy to change. Yeah,
Madam Chair,
he wants to respond.
can I respond?
Yeah.
Thank you. And I appreciate Councilor Corey, your comments. But this resolution
doesn't address whether the 5 members include staff, like our engineering department and some other ones, or
All volunteer.
so we're not going to include the staff, our experts from staff? Is that what I'm No, I hearing? think it's incorporated. I think that gentleman sitting right there will assign a staff person. And that's one of our staff. That person will be paid to help guide. But it will not include, the staff person will not be included as one of the 5. Correct.
And I think that the task force just is giving recommendations. What they say doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. It's just they're giving recommendations to how we can build and rebuild.
That's exactly right. If you think of it in terms of very similar to our airport advisory committee, they are an advisory body only, meaning they only make recommendations. They don't take action.
Right, and I understand that because all our committees that we have are essentially advisory committees.
Yes, sir.
Like the recreation department and
Cemetery.
Yep.
cemetery board and museum board, and all those are all
Advisory.
advisory. But at least in my opinion, I believe that, and of course, I also understand that this resolution is only to create a task force, to approve a task force. And so, I don't know whether the decision has been made with Mr. Or Councilor Cortez, if he's talked to the mayor or whatever, that he has appointed Councilor Cortez as the lead person, or he intends to appoint you.
Well, he's not here to ask,
So, I would ask, but I'm sure she doesn't know.
Yes.
But my concern is that we limit it to just experts in the certain fields, and I believe that we need to open it up to the community, whether it be other organizations, individuals that have gone through the ordeal of the flood and whatever. And that's just my opinion, that I think we need to open it up to more than that 5.
The Councilor Cortez?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilor, it is built into the framework that the task force will expressly reach out to the community, because the city has a limited scope of work that it can do. So it is in there. I do understand your concern. There is a member of staff, the city manager does need to join the team. I guess I don't know if you're thinking more to increase the number or to specify that at least a member or a certain number of members would represent the community broadly. I don't know if you're looking for numbers or you're looking for a specific disposition. And either is fine. You increase the numbers, you increase the chance. Is it more important for you know what I mean? It is built into the sauce, but and as far as I'm not, if I'm asked to serve on this task force, I will. I'm not passing a resolution to continue to volunteer. My wife has a large bill drafted for the mayor, so I do need to get back to work. But I do have a bias here that I think it's important, and that's why we're here talking. It's been a year, and it's been a tough year, and for the community, and.
Well, and I think to a certain extent we all have a bias because we all suffered.
If you look at it, it was broad damage. I think Max, we tried to draw attention to this, that the damage is broad. There are these buildings, and we all focus on them. I thought a lot about how the museum, I think for the museum, one thing I would say is that it's a lot like your home. You know, no offense to Jeff, I don't know if Jeff's still here, forget the IT guy, but I don't think the IT department felt losing the IT building. I don't think it affected them as much as the museum people who lived and worked with those artists, and it's different. I think the museum is, for them, it's like their home, right? Very similar to me. That's just something I think about a lot, and I think there is a spot. One of the things we have to be careful about is, we flooded in 1954, 7, did someone? You know, we tend to not learn from history sometimes, and we repeat the same mistakes. And I look at the resources of the museum and think about, you know, well, how do we remember? And that's important. But if you went one street north of Riverside, where I was on the high side of bad, or the low side of good, I don't know. No, they weren't flooded, but then all of us in the community are gonna pay for this. We passed a tax, so we're all paying for it, and there are gonna be choices that we're gonna have to make that are gonna be tough, because our next generations are gonna have to keep paying for this. There's gonna be things we wish we could have in the community, but because we have to stop and fix this, that's where we're gonna be. So I guess what I'm saying, I mean, that's a lot just to say, I hear what you're saying, I agree with you. I'm not opposed to increasing the number, or I do believe a smaller committee can be more effective. But if we're gonna specify another party to join, and this task force actually needs to be able to communicate out to the public. A lot of engineers, and I'm not an engineer, a lot of engineers are really crappy at that. They're not good at it. And so people that have a broader skill have an important role on this task force. So that's all I gotta say. I think we got it, you know, leave it at that. You guys.
Councilor Hildebrand. Councilor Cavanagh.
So, thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and Juan. I think in my vision of this task force, I mean, I'm not trying to, I mean, it's kind of like tribes, okay? If you have too many Indians out there with no leadership, so you gotta have chiefs. And I see this deal having 5 chiefs, and those 5 chiefs are gonna reach out to those others and create that tribe to give them their feedback and their information to bring back to the task force. If you get too many people on there, then suddenly you've got stuff coming from all different directions, and now you're trying to put it all together, but then somebody over here is gonna say this, or somebody over there is gonna say that. And I think that having those 5 members and having their tribes, as it would be, I'm using that as an example, and they bring back that information to the task force, to the city council. So that's just, I mean, the way I'm envisioning it.
Councilor Arnold.
Yeah, I'll take after you.
Okay, thank you, Madam Mayor Pro Tem. For me, I understand the science and the actual value of a task force. Throughout this whole flooding event, I have felt that the education to the public regarding the flood outside of our regular meetings has been very, very limited. I'm not saying that we need to actually add people. I understand the value of a small team, very much so. However, I still feel that there needs to actually be at least one member that is a community-related member. Or, because my concern is, like with the Airport Advisory Committee, that is a meeting that is actually recorded and you can log on to. This is an advisory committee. I haven't seen anything in here noting the way that it would be set up where the public can actually watch the meeting in action or, you know, participate. I think my biggest concern is actually we have nothing stating that they will reach out I would like to see forums or some type of meeting with the public or something, because these are all professionals, I'm not seeing anything that's actually conveying how they will reach out to the public, because going to your regular restaurant once a month and talking to the person you talk to all the time doesn't necessarily mean outreach to me. I'm looking for, but there again, it is quite vague. I'm not actually saying that I won't support what you have here. I'm just saying I'm disappointed at the effort of outreach to our public regarding this. And at this point, while it has my support, it doesn't signify that there will be much change in that area.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Every board that the city has a published agenda, and anyone in the community can attend those. And anyone can, if they choose, to participate. And Councilor Cortez has put a lot of work into this ordinance. And I've had a conversation with him about it. I applaud him for this. And it's time to get this done. And if we need to add other members at a later date, let's pass this ordinance so we can get to work. And not sit here and worry about today, it needs 5 members, it needs 7 members. I'm of the opinion that we, as a city council, are going to approve those members that are going to be on this board. And this board is going to report back to the council after they meet and take direction and send it back. And if Councilor Cortez, after he's off city council, doesn't nominate himself to be on this board, I will nominate him to be on this board. Because he's put a lot of effort into this. His heart and soul is in this community. And I want to support this, and I will leave it right where it's at. I offer no changes to this one bit until we see what this thing looks like, and then we can mold it at a later date if it needs to be molded. But I'm calling for the question.
Okay, let's go to.
Call for the question. Is this a roll call or voice?
Calling for the question.
Voice is fine.
The
voice is fine.
A voice vote for calling for the question? Okay, a voice vote for calling for the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so then we can move on to the, is it roll call vote for
Good job, Councilor Cortez.
the voice vote for the ordinance?
Yes, please.
Okay, so voice vote for the ordinance to pass as is. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you. Thank you for your work, Councilor Cortez. And I think Cortez would be great on it because he's also a survivor, he's your community member you're talking about who's been affected. All right, moving on to number 27.
No, 28, 27 we moved.
Oh, 27, we moved, sorry, 28.
You're acting like the mayor.
Item 28.
Good. I move that we hold a closed session pursuant to NMSA 1978 10-15-1H 5 and 8 for the discussion of collective bargaining strategy preliminary to collective bargaining negotiations and for the discussion of the purchase, acquisition, and disposal of real property.
Second.
Okay, so we need a vote to go into closed session. Roll call vote to go into closed session.
Supposed to.
Okay,
Unless it's unanimous.
Madam Clerk.
Counselor Arnold?
Yes.
Counselor Heldenbrand?
Aye.
Counselor Middleton?
Yes.
Counselor Johnson?
Yes.
Counselor Cavan?
Yes.
Counselor Oropesa?
Yes.
Counselor Cortez?
Aye.
Counselor Thorne?
Yes.
Counselor Moore?
Yes.
Counselor Halverson?
Yes. We'll go in closed session. It is pursuant to,
Legal liaison.
all right then, so. We take a vote to go back into session?
Yes.
She said.
Roll call.
Okay, roll call vote, come back into
That's
session.
what the law says.
It's not what the clerk says.
Counselor Arnold,
Yes.
Counselor Hildebrand,
Aye.
Counselor Marujo,
He's missing in action.
Counselor Johnson,
Yes.
moving right along. Counselor Cabin,
Yes.
Counselor Oropesa,
Yes.
Counselor Cortez,
I said yes.
Counselor Horn,
There's Baruch.
Oh, sorry.
So say yes.
Yes.
Counselor Moore,
Yes.
Counselor, and Counselor Halverson.
Yes.
I think we're all here.
I don't remember voting.
The corn said he don't remember voting.
Counselor Horn,
Yes.
All right, I guess next is city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, members of the council. I'll go quick, just a couple of things. You know, we covered a lot of ground tonight. Bobby certainly did a great report on the airport. A lot of things were discussed there. I would just point out that the fire training that we've had at our fire training center this week has been really fantastic. Appreciate the fire department for having me out with those guys to participate in some of that training. It was really good, very impressive. They actually got to use their ARF truck on a real fire, which they were very impressed. They haven't got to do that yet. Now, not our brand new ARF truck. That one is waiting some chemicals to arrive before we can use that one. But they were very excited to use their ARF truck. Kudos go out to Abraham Chaparro and Debbie Rains with our solid waste team. They have recently taken over fleet maintenance and fleet system and are doing a fantastic job. I will say that Abraham, Debbie, our fire chief Chavez, deputy chief Washachek, and several others, including Clinton, our HR department, have done an outstanding job recruiting an emergency vehicle technician to the new fleet maintenance system. And this person is the only person in the state of New Mexico that can work on ARF trucks. I'll tell you that our oil changes that are required for our fire trucks were costing $4,000 a pop. We're required to get 2 of them a year. That is no longer going to be the case, and matter of fact, we envision being able to help surrounding communities and being taken off the monopoly that once was emergency vehicle technician services. So we're very excited to bring him in. He has accepted the position. He'll start for us January 19th, and we're very excited for that. As we discussed just a little while ago, PD, Police Department, has recently hired 5 more police officers. That puts us 2 shy on our vacancies, not counting the 10 additional that have never been filled. Also, very similar to fire, the light medium tactical vehicle that was brought in for water rescue, high water vehicle by our municipal league. Our municipal league had recently done the same for our police department. It's called a pit bull, not to be confused with the Bearcat. Essentially, it's a SWAT breaching vehicle. As you may know, they have an Army surplus vehicle that has been a real nightmare to try and maintain. And I can tell you from experience, the day that we received the pit bull vehicle, my house went home for lunch, and the next block over I heard the flashbang grenades going off. That was the gentleman that was shooting at his wife, and they really could use that vehicle. So very excited for them, very appreciative of our municipal league for going out and getting that vehicle and allowing us to utilize their vehicle. Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you for the plea deal. Abraham and Debbie will knock it out of the park on that.
Already doing it.
And hiring that subject matter expert on servicing your equipment, that is gonna bring so much value to the city, and not only that, could actually bring revenue, because it's gonna bring other municipalities over here to, I mean, that's nothing but good news, so I like
Nothing
that.
but good news, and I'll say this, that person is also certified to a level where he can certify the work of other mechanics that work for him, meaning they can also service emergency vehicles going forward under his license. And you're exactly right, this is a revenue generating opportunity. I have no doubt that Abraham and Debbie on the data management side and analysis side, Abraham on the organizational side, and putting these things together, yes, absolute fantastic team, so thank you.
Anything else? Chad?
Thank you.
We're adjourned.